Learning never stops. Learning never stops. Learning never stops.
Wolftelligence!
Welcome back to the podcast. Trying out some headphones this time while I'm doing it, seeing if that makes it any better or worse. In this episode, being a lifelong learner. So first of all, life is a school. We're all here to learn. We're always learning. There is more to learn than you could ever possibly learn. There's always going to be more to learn. And if you can't accept that, you think you know everything, you think that you could possibly know everything. Well, you really know nothing. There is so much, just so much to know, just so many books that you can read, and I'll get to that later. But in this school, Earth or life in general, if you believe in other dimensions where you could learn as well, everyone is your teacher. Everybody can be your teacher. You can learn from any single person. You just have to not judge. That's really it. Everything can be your teacher, even like an inanimate object or a book, or what I'm currently reading right now, Alchemy, Paul Selig. It's just an amazing book and just like teaching so much. But those are like great teachers. But everybody is going to teach you some lesson that's very important, and all it is it's up for you to learn it. It's up to you to be attentive, to kind of do your homework. But it's not like boring homework. Like in school, the school, at least that most of us go to, like makes us dislike learning. Like they emphasize things that aren't important and don't emphasize the things that are important. One thing that I've noticed that nobody teaches you emotional intelligence in elementary school, middle school, high school, even college, but emotional intelligence is the most important skill that you're going to have in your job, in your career, just in your life in general. And that's not taught in these schools. And it makes you think like, what do they think people are going to learn it from their parents? Because what if their parents didn't learn it, and then the cycle repeats? So people need to be teaching emotional intelligence. That's like the reason that I do this podcast, Wolftelligence, teaching people how I learned emotional intelligence, because I had zero emotional intelligence, and that was a huge reason that I went through the mental health issues that I did. And I didn't like learning because the school that I went to, like the books that I read, the books that we were given that were like the mandatory required books to read, were like completely useless. And then I find out about books like Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak. Just looking at that right here, like this is a book that I genuinely love to read. Or another one that the Rust book, Get Out of Your Own Way. Like these are books that like I'm excited to read and I get a ton of value for. But like I didn't get a ton of value like reading like Shakespeare in high school, or like books like Catcher in the Rye. The only one I really enjoyed is like 1984. I feel like everybody should read that book, but like most of the reading in high school and middle school, it could have been spent on like things that weren't like irrelevant and things that are actually going to help you in your life, like emotional intelligence. And you can obviously learn that through like extracurriculars, like if you're on a sports team, like playing with other people and like understanding yourself. But like something that I did, at least once I started college, is like creating your own curriculum. Like once I found out that there were books that I truly enjoyed buying, like another one, like Magic Ladder Success, Napoleon Hill, like, and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. But once I realized that there were books that I could buy that I believed actually added value to my life, I loved reading, and reading became my favorite thing. I started buying a ton of books and then writing more books. Not going to plug that. Nah, gotta, it's the pod. But creating your own curriculum is very important. The ways that I learn now and teach myself self-emotional intelligence are through meditation, introspection, journaling, writing poetry, writing books, making music, and making videos like this to try to basically help teach it to other people and myself, because I'm always learning. There's always going to be more for me to learn in the emotional intelligence, and it's why it excites me so much, because I feel like it's something that I've already seen myself get a lot better at, but it's also something that I can then share like what I've done, because I believe anybody can learn it. Anybody can become emotionally intelligent. Take that from me. For the first 19 years of my life, I didn't even like feel my emotions at all. I tried to block that all off instead of using them and feeling them and taking them as like what they are, like constructive feedback about how you're feeling. And I tried to avoid and deny that. And I just want to share that that did not help me in the long run. I had to start facing them, learning how to face my emotions with love. And once I did that, I just, learning never stops. I'm going to end this episode here. But again, learning never stops.